Okay, are you ready? Do you want to swap up? Do you want the Star Trek?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. So, which Star Treks have which series have you watched? Like,
Uh,
what do you like?
I watched quite a bit of original series, but I mostly watch Next Generation, and I
Yeah.
did get a good chunk into DS9.
Oh, excellent. So you got into DS9 enough for you to get more Q from
Yeah.
DS9.
Oh my god, I
uh,
didn't know he was in DS9, and then he showed up for an episode, and when he popped up on screen, I actually started screaming.
oh my god. So he does also pop up on Voyager.
Oh, okay.
It's not as it's not as good on
Yeah.
Voyager. Because I mean, Daddy Cisco is Daddy Cisco. Like, Q's there. He's just like, Jesus Christ, punches. Um, Voyager, Janeway just, shouts at him like a dommy mommy figure.
Mhm.
And he says, I can take you home. I'll take you home and from the Delta Expanse. And, you just have to do me a favor. And she absolutely passes, of course, because they have
Mhm.
a television show to run.
Right.
Um, oh my gosh. I heard once from a time long ago before the before time, that you model some of your character's aspects after Q.
Yeah, my VTube character, personality-wise, is based on Q.
So which Q are we talking about? Are we Q taunting Riker? Are we Q popping into bed next to Picard? Are we?
God, that's
Because
still one of my favorite scenes ever.
isn't it just that GIF lives rent free in my head?
Mhm.
People are like, what's so good about what's so fun about the Next Generation? There's nobody's even being sexy in it, and I'm like, well,
Like, are
let
you
me
kidding
tell
me?
you. Let me tell you. First of all, Riker comes out in like a V-neck shirt that
Oh
touches
my
his
god.
belly button.
Oh my god,
Mm,
yeah.
yes, yes. Like I'm not gonna sexualize the women because they got enough of that. And
Mhm.
like, my God, mwah, these are my wives. These are my besties.
Right.
These are my baes. But like Riker in just the most promiscuous outfit I've ever seen. Just having a great time. Uh so Next Gen is my numero uno favorite.
Me too, yeah.
Uh for nostalgia purposes also, as well as the fact that like you can watch, I'd say 90 to 95% of those episodes and they still hit exactly as they're supposed
Yeah,
to. There's obviously still not good ones,
right.
but there's not good ones in every TV show, so I'm not fussed about it. Uh, so I do have a Captain Picard tattoo on my leg,
Mhm.
and I do have a phaser on my leg, and I do have a bat laugh on my leg, and I do have a leg of Star Trek, so it's only appropriate that I would talk Star Trek with leg.
Right.
Uh, mhm,
That's so
mhm.
based, though.
uh, so the TOS stuff. So you've got TOS, you've got TNG, and a little bit of Deep
Mhm.
Space Nine.
Yeah.
In terms of the good, you've actually got most of it. And this is an opinion that is personal, and I do not believe applies to everybody. Voyager was kind of a step down in terms of quality, character expansion,
Mm.
um, because you already knew the end goal when the show started.
Mm.
Like, oh no, the ship's lost. What are they gonna do? Get home?
Yeah.
Get home. And beyond that, they added some very problematic characters that are kind of like Xander on Buffy.
Mm.
Like, you're supposed to like this guy. And I'm like, could you show me on the doll where the likable traits are?
Yeah.
I can wait. um, then there's Enterprise.
Mm.
Um, I don't have a deep enough sigh to express how I feel about Enterprise. We tried watching it in my Discord with some friends just so that they'd know, and we actually had to cancel it because people just stopped coming.
Right.
That's fair.
Mm.
Because between Enterprise and the last Star Trek Next Gen movie, Nemesis with Tom Hardy,
Mhm.
both Enterprise and Nemesis kind of bombed the series,
Right.
like the franchise. And then we got J.J. Abrams in 2009. I like the movies, and I like that with the concept of Star Trek, I get to think about, what new thing are you going to give me? I have an open mind. Show me what you've got.
Mhm.
And they give me the Abrams movies, and I like them. Are they the same? No, they can never be the same. That's not the point. I feel like we could have had a little more sexual tension between Spock and Kirk, but that's just me.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
see,
personally
like,
speaking.
in discussions with Star Trek, I always forget to bring up those movies because they don't feel like Star Trek to me.
So that is true, and it is mostly because they were overpaying the guy who did the lens flares.
Yeah.
It's very distracting. I will say that it has had a spectacular influence on the newer stuff.
Mm.
Uh, the costumes, at the very minimum, received an incredible upgrade from the premise of what happened in the Abrams movies are also referred to as the AOS, or the alternate original, whatever. It's sometimes referred to as the Kelvin timeline, because the Kelvin ship being blown up with Kirk's daddy
Yeah.
Thor. Ooh. um that's the instigating incident, so they're often referred to as Kelvins. I did send you a timeline in that folder if you want to peek at the deviation. But alternate timelines aren't unknown to Star Trek. So, like, is it not Star Trek, or is it just trying to give you a little taste of something different, like the Mirror Universe? Because we didn't get any Mirror Universe with TNG. Like, not a single episode of Picard going and meeting his bad daddy self. Oh my God, what would Mirror Universe Riker be like? Oh, I can't. So I will tell you that there is a Mirror Universe TNG comic book series, graphic novel series. Everybody looks like a bodybuilding Lothario. And Mirror Universe Troy, I would let her step on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. That's a big yes for me, dog. That's a hell yeah. From what I understand, Mirror Universe, Beverly and Wesley are like a power duo domineering team. Can't don't have enough words for that. Here, I found Troy. I'm actually just gonna DM her to you. And
Oh my God. Oh, her.
but like, why? I'm yes. Yes, ma'am. So those comics are exceptional. Heavy recommend. But the new stuff, the new Trek. So Discovery fits right before the original series. It does ask you to suspend your disbelief in terms of the technology and visuals. But I think that's appropriate, because if they tried to recreate the 1960s set, we would hate that.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense. It would be restrictive. So Discovery stuff is way more queer friendly. I actually think that I had to deal with less heterosexual romance than usual.
Right.
So that was interesting. I do recommend Discovery. I see that some people don't like it, especially people who don't like politics of their Star Trek, which means they miss the point of Star Trek.
Yeah, literally.
Literally miss the point of our fully automated luxury gay space communism here. It's the point, we're in a post-scarcity society, therefore greed and capitalism have no place here. So like we're not repressing people. Come on.
Right.
Prejudice still exists, because that makes that's just how it works with conflict in interpersonal relationships. But like Star Trek is about hope and stuff. So when we get to Discovery is like, it's in the name. It's actually part of it, and it gives you interesting timelines and interesting plots, and very deep characters, ridiculously deep characters. Like, You're gonna know more than you know that Troy likes chocolate. You get to know more,
Yeah.
or that she regresses into a reptilian or amphibian.
Oh,
Do you remember the episode where they like de-evolutionize them because of a virus in Barclay?
I don't remember that. No.
That one's worth a rewatch. He turns into a
Mm.
spider, and that's a lot.
Hmm.
So, you get Discovery, and in the timeline that I sent you, there's a little gap between Discovery and the original series. That's actually where Strange New Worlds fits in.
Okay.
I didn't know if you know that. I don't know if people in your chat know that, but Strange New Worlds was a fan-demanded show based off of Discovery.
Mm.
Because there were enough characters that showed up on Discovery that were like hinted at or referenced in TOS that people were like, please give me the gap. Fill the gap. And we got it. It's glorious.
Hmm.
It's phenomenal. It hits in all the weird ways that TOS did things right. It
Hmm.
hits all of those. Got some weird Renaissance costumes laying around in the set next door. Great. We're doing an episode about that. Like, it's peak. Did you ever watch Lower Decks?
I
Actually
haven't,
think
but
that one.
I've been thinking about it.
Oh, if you want, honestly, I think it should go unstated. If you want company for any of that, you just say the word. I'm
Right.
already there, like it's ready to go. Um, Lower Decks is for people who love Star Trek.
Hmm.
For people who love it, it is written so people who don't know Star Trek can also enjoy it.
Right.
It's very finely crafted. The humor is exceptional. The characters are interesting and diverse, and they make references to all the stuff that we would watch in Star Trek and be like, but what happened to this one thing? Like, is this thread left undone? Well, Lower Decks will poke fun at that. Don't worry about it. Like, I think one of the characters shows up in the opening scene with a batleth, and she's like, "I just got it from an old guy." And some, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's about honor. Honor. I love honor,
Yeah.
and it hits the way that we would joke about it with each other.
Hmm.
Um, but I can go into a lot of behind the scenes stuff about Star Trek. I did host a class about Star Trek for some of the original series. The
Mm.
newer stuff requires more analysis because just the nature of the beast being newer.
Right.
But like, ah, it's so good. I ah. How do you talk about something that's all encompassing?
Yeah.
Because I know you love it.
Mm.
Uh, Deep Space Nine, the O'Brien Chronicles. My God, what a lad!
Yeah, I was so shocked to see him in DS9 when I started watching it.
Oh, he's so peak. I will say that the episodes do fluctuate between like, do I want to commit a small war crime, or alternatively, is this episode about how we hurt Miles O'Brien's feelings? Will he be taking psychic damage today? 90% chance, yes.
Uh-huh.
But I think, oh gosh, I think you and I have talked with another person about that who has an O'Brien thing.
Mm.
Hmm. Worth it. I have a votive candle to my patron saint of suffering, Miles O'Brien. You can't light it because you're gonna need it forever. You can't waste
Right.
that. So when you watch, do you lean instinctively towards the badass autistic stand-in character, or are you normal?
uh in terms of like who my favorite is in.
Yeah, so like TNG would be Data.
Mhm. Oh my god, I love Data so much.
Data is so good.
Like Data's probably my second favorite in the entire series under Q.
So it goes Q, Data. Oh my gosh. So in Deep Space Nine, did you get to the point where you started to like Odo?
Yes. I love Odo.
Yeah, Odo. So and I know I only have a little bit of time, but I'm gonna be straight to the point. I think something about the badass autistic stand-ins means we have to reflect towards humanoid behavior and questioning it the way a lot of us do in our head of like, this doesn't make sense. Why am I following this hierarchical structure that makes no sense? I'm just going to
Mhm.
do it the way that's going to work.
Yeah.
Like Why do I have to eat the cherry off the top of the sundae? That's not tradition. I can literally eat this however I wish. Like the questioning what other people take for granted to break it down to, but I want to do what's best for me, my friends, my crew, the
Yeah.
ship. Like it's that essence of intrinsic morality almost. Ah, it just hits. Every Star Trek series has one. You had the Spock.
Oh, yeah.
Mwah. Oh, say less. Just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, like who is the outsider looking in and questioning the things that we don't question. You have the Data looking in. You have the Odo looking in. In Voyager, it was 7 of 9. Brought her on at the end of season 9, beginning of season 4, and that's when the series finally shifted into its corrected self. Because you didn't have someone reflecting back to the crew what was happening,
Right.
so that they could come to a better understanding. Enterprise has a Vulcan on the ship, and they pretty much just shut her down. So I'm just gonna walk away from that one. Discovery is full of people like that. Strange New Worlds has Spock. Oh. And I actually want to say that Lower Decks does not actually require a person like that. If you twisted my arm, which I know you are so hard, I would say all of the characters read as a different flavor of neurodiverse.
Yeah. Oh, for
So
sure.
it is like hanging out with your own friends. So what department would you be?
Oh, I've thought about this a few times, and I still have no idea where I would even be put.
Okay. What color would your shirt be? If it didn't matter what department it was, what color would your shirt be?
Probably blue.
You'd be a blue. Oh, you'd be a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, because are you the light blue of TOS, or are you the teal, like the sort of very very blue teal of TNG?
I think probably TNG.
Bless. Okay, okay. Now for the real controversy. Let's talk about scants.
Yeah.
The dress, the unisex dress uniform that they introduced in
Oh,
the Next Generation.
yeah.
How you feel about them? Little breeze, little flaps.
Those are
I like what
always,
they.
yeah, those are so weird to me. I kind of like them, but like, I don't know if I would wear those.
I mean, if they were short as Counselor Troy's on the first episode, no, we don't need to wear those. But if they're like the dudes in the back, maybe if they came down to my knees, as I believe they do later, not TOS. My God, you could see panties in TOS. Uh, but if they came down lower, I have a scant A-line dress that does actually go below my knees, and it has pockets, so like it's peak. Like no problems detected. I'm aerated. I can swirl, and it makes little pretty patterns, and then I can put stuff in my pocket. I carry a phaser to hurt. I don't know. Um. Oh, you got Vanguardian would be in comms. Comms is great. Comms and ops. Oh, like you could do whatever you want. Like, oh. One of my friends who is definitely in the chat right now has told me he'd be 3 raccoons in a medical trench coat, and each raccoon would have a different shirt on, so it could just be whatever department. Doesn't matter. Oh,
Get an image of scants up so people know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's, you'd think that it would be like a skirt pants based on the name, and it's not. It's not. So in the TOS, yeah, so there is a flap on those. So they could be short skirts, but those have a name. So it's just a skort dress, and they just didn't know what to call it.
Right.
That's just a romper. Oh, God. My whole life just changed. I love these. I think they're incredibly impractical for starship operation. But what if they cared about that? Oh, I love these. I've got a couple of my friends some images in these, and I've got a model in these, and They're so silly. But my God, you know what department they're in. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they have the largest color block, don't they? By the
Looks like,
time they
yeah.
get to yeah, by the time you get to Deep Space Nine, where they go to the gray quilted shoulders,
Mm,
the only markings on theirs is the turtleneck they're wearing underneath it, and right at the end of their wrists on the lower
right.
sleeve. I'd be like, I don't know, do you even work here, my dude? What color are you wearing? Oh, I love these. Thank you for letting me like vague post, like vague dump about Star Trek because like I didn't want to get too deep.
Yeah.
It goes we've got we've got 80 what are we no 60 years 60 plus years of Star Trek. That's
Oh,
too
yeah.
much. I mean, wait, I've got 5 minutes. Should we talk about how Star Trek and Doctor Who overlap?
Oh, God, please.
No. So they were actually airing in their respective countries at
Mhm.
roughly the same time.
Yeah.
And there are class notes that you can take from Professor, I think it's Rotoli from Syracuse University, who did Trek class and Who class.
Mm,
They're seminar based, they're not like proper classes where with homework. But he goes into the background of a lot of stuff, and it's crazy interesting that these two shows at roughly the same time, Star Trek was 1965, 66, and Doctor Who was 1963.
mhm.
They had totally different audiences. Nobody was sharing international filmography, but it was like it was the zeitgeist that the world was ready for sci-fi, proper sci-fi.
Mhm.
And the cross section actually blended behind the scenes because we weren't a global community. People weren't talking. There weren't fan
Right.
clubs. There weren't conventions of like they were local only. And oh my God, Doctor Who. They like if you look at the issues that they address in each of the series, they're hitting on the same stuff, the same type of prejudice,
Right.
the same type of hate, misogyny. Like they're deep diving into what is it to be good?
Mhm.
What is it to love? Like it's so good.
Yeah.
I do also have a TARDIS tattoo. I should have mentioned
I love
that.
that, though.
uh oh man, you ever want to like just dump in this stuff? Please say the word.
Please.
Oh God,
I've been getting back into Doctor Who recently because Jackie never watched it,
yeah.
so I've been, like, taking her through it. Like, we just finished the
Oh my
ninth Doctor,
God,
so we're
that's
starting
so
at
exciting
10.
for her.
Yeah, I'm so
Oh,
happy. Like, we've both been enjoying it a lot.
oh my God. So yeah, we're doing the same in my space in my community.
Mhm.
After we're done with Buffy, we're watching Good Omens and then going straight into Doctor Who.
Mhm.
You know, I got to give them a little taste of both.
Right.
A little bit of Tennant here, a little bit of Tennant there.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Like,
Yeah.
I know I was unstructured as fuck, but like
I
when you get
mean,
excited, what's
yeah.
structure?
Yeah, I mean, that's why this is info dump tonight, because there is really no structure to info dumping.
Right. I I love that so much. And I'm also really excited for the other guests you have on today. Like
Me
I
too.
saw Zem, I saw you. I saw you.
Oh, I'm vibrating.
Um and I see your chat asking about examples. So I can show you some of my mail work, but because one of my hands still doesn't work properly, I don't currently mail for anything but private projects
Mhm.
because they take me forever.
Right.
Oh, like I think I started 2 months ago on stuff due in 2 months.
Mm.
So like it's gonna take me 4 months to do a lot of stuff. It's not my favorite,
Yeah.
but you know what is my favorite?
Mm.
Like you're so cute. Thank you so much for having me and
Thank you
doing
for
this.
being here. I had a ton of fun. I was so excited for this.
Like I love your stuff. I know I'm a notorious lurker. But like oh
No,
your
we love our
energy is just
lurkers here.
exactly. And your energy is so peak. I could just
Oh,
like just all day.
I really appreciate
So
that.
no, like I don't think all these people are watching because they don't like you, you know?
Yeah.
I think you might be onto something.